Hey folks, this is Thursday morning here, July 17th. I just realized July 17th is the day I'm supposed to remember. It's the day after a handful of good horse pulls, some nice competition, some good horse pulling, and we just had a good set of horse pulls up to Hemlock, Livingston County Fair last night. And word's probably getting around. Tragically, before the horse pull, Jackson Sterle was warming his team up, Abe and Eli, and just walking them around before the pull like we all do. Most of the guys weren't even harnessed yet. And just getting ready to pick out a spot to tie them, walking past friends, telling jokes. Perfectly healthy team of horses. Got third place in Angelica the day before. Did a hell of a job pulling in Angelica. They'd been vet checked the day before. They'd been vet checked this day. Walking comfortably. I saw it happen. They walked comfortably. Nothing was wrong. No signs of anything wrong. And all of a sudden the horse stumbled. And his head kind of went down and he went down. And the other horse stayed up and Tom Voorhees, me, Brian Armisen, a bunch of friends, Doug Smith, anybody who was near Donnie Middaugh, we all ran over to help. And we thought he just stumbled, and it happens sometimes. And we were getting the rigging off him, which is always hard on those big horses when everything's tight. And that's when I saw he started to kind of kick a little bit, and it was a heart attack. And the poor Abe, it was over like that. And in front of people, the bleachers were full. They were waiting for the class to start. What a strange feeling. I'd never been a part of in front of a crowd like that. I've had tangle ups and horses down that I've helped people with, and even runaways I've helped people with, but never anything like this. And it was heartbreaking immediately as soon as we saw what happened. I want to thank all of our friends that were there, all of our horse pulling friends. Some quick acting people got some horse blankets out, and we covered the poor boy that was down. Got a couple trailers around kind of blocked so everybody didn't have to look. Somebody got a loader to take care of the horse that had just unfortunately passed. And Jackson Sterle stood there like a trooper the whole time. All he could do, stoic, brave and strong. He just watched his friend that he raised from a foal. He just watched his friend drop dead. We've been through it here on this farm. It was a sudden, accidental, random heart attack, not due to anything. It just plain happened. I've sat on a couch with people before everything was healthy, having a conversation, heart attack, and died. It happens. It can happen to any of us. And it happened to Abe last night. But I'm rambling a little bit. I want to stay focused. The first thing we want to do is thank all of the friends and all of the good people who helped take care of this tragedy. Nobody went to the pole in Hemlock last night thinking we were going to have to do that, We're thinking, we got to harness up and we got to get the ropes laid out for the boundary lines and stuff like this. We weren't thinking about helping a good friend through a hard time like this. I want to thank the audience last night. Very composed, very caring, very understanding audience that witnessed this happen. And I want to thank the good people that were there last night. A terrific bunch of fans, very supportive, and we appreciate that. We went on with the pull. It was a good horse pull. Donnie Middaugh won by neck. He beat Brian Armisen. They both qualified for load, and Donnie hitched once more. Casey Harriman was right behind him. And then it went on down the line. I think maybe Doug Smith was right there. It was a good horse pull, and many of the Teamsters donated their prize winnings back to Jackson Sterle to help him with all the expenses that might come with this. What a good bunch of friends. What a good bunch of men they are. Talk about Abe a little bit. Abe was a nice, big Belgian. Probably a 2,500-pound horse, kind of a lighter yellow sorrel color. Jackson had raised him from a foal. He has pictures of him every step of the way. And Abe was a solid pulling horse, finishing well at many contests, winning some, I believe, and third place at Angelica the day before this happened. Now that's saying something, because that's a pull there in Angelica. You got some competitors, and he was third place that day, and did a heck of a job. Maybe we'll insert the video. Looks like Jackson's gonna move it all the way. Good job, Jackson. If I got Jackson Sterle's gonna go for a ride. 23 or 4 feet. 23.6, Lester says.
23.6. First look. Jackson. Nice job, Jackson Sterle. Nice job, Jackson Sterle.
Video in here. Jackson Sterle. I don't know Jackson real well. I've got to know him a little bit at horse pulls over the last few years, and I can tell you he is one hell of a good man. One hell of a caring and loving man who cares greatly about his horses. I'm going to paste pictures in here throughout this video, and you notice throughout this video and these pictures, everything Jackson's doing is for the comfort of his horses. You know, whether it's putting them hay feeder under cover, or fly nets on their faces, or a fan on these horses, or acupuncture, or care, just plain grooming. You know, he wants these horses as comfortable and healthy as possible, and you can still be cursed with bad luck. That's the hell of it. You notice in these pictures, these horses always look gorgeous. Winter and summer. Dapples are out. They're in nice bloom and finish with good flesh. They're family friends. That's how much this means to us horse pullers. You know, we take our family pictures with our horses. And it's going to be a long time getting over this, and hard. And we all need to reach out to Jackson and tell him how much we love him, how much we appreciate him. And we're there for him. And we need to be there for him at the end of summer and in fall and next winter, because as time goes on, you know, not as many people call, not as many people are there for you. They kind of forgot about you and that kind of thing. So let's not do that. Let's keep being a friend, the friend we should be. Jackson, as I said, great competitor and a great member of the New York State Horse Pullers Association. Always the voice of reason if we get bickering a little bit with, you know, something maybe we don't like where we set the weight class or whatever rule or something like that. And Jackson's always the voice of reason and always there to kind of keep everybody level-headed and keep reminding us that we're all in it together. As far as this goes, it's an awful tragedy. Most of us have had something happen like this. If you've had horses long enough, you have. Personally, Nick behind the camera, Nick and I, We lost 3 horses in 2 days here a few years back. Just like Jackson, we raised them from foals, raised them from day one, and had that happen. That might be the hardest part, sitting there looking at, a horse that you put so much time and care and money and love into, and looking at your horse lying there dead. And poor Jackson had to do that. And to add insult to it all, it was in front of a crowd of people. Thank God there was such a good crowd of people who supported and loved us all and helped Jackson along. The old timers' wisdom. I've heard it said, if you've got livestock, you've got dead stock. And that's unfortunate, but that's true. I've been around farming long enough. My old friend Pete Tingy was a farmer here in Franklinville. Great old guy. Raced in the Daytona 500. Wild man. Loved to drink his Jack Daniels and Coke and play honky-tonk music and have a good time. And hell of a race car driver. Hell of a good farmer. And a hell of a good friend Pete was. And Pete was milking cows kind of on the backside of this farm once, and milking about 30 cows back in those days, and he'd lost 5 of them one spring. And he was depressed. He didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, just like our horses. The cows were his friends and his living, And his dad come along one day and said, Pete, keep it in the barn. He said, as long as your issues are in the barn, you're okay. As long as your family's healthy, as long as you're healthy, and the issues are in the barn, we're okay. And that's old country wisdom there. And when you're going through this, there's not a lot of solace in something like that, but it is something we have to remember. I think where it hits us in the heart the most, for most all of us, is it brings back memories of when it happened to us, and we've all had it happen to us, and so it's relatable and traumatic for us all. Jackson, I wish you the best of luck, and anything we at the Ainsworth family or anybody else can do to help, we're here for you, and I really appreciate you and appreciate all you do for horse pulling. And we're all here for you, and we love you. Thank you. Looks like Jackson's going to move it all the way. Good job, Jackson. If I got Jackson Sterle, he's going to go for a ride. 23 or 4 feet. 23.6, Lester says.
23.6. First look. Jackson Sterle.